What is going on, everyone? It is me, Lone, and today I'd like to talk about Fallout 4. I love this damn game so much, and as we know, this year we are getting a free next-gen update across Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 5, and PC. Bethesda has already promised this update will include performance mode features for high frame rates, quality features for 4K resolution gameplay, bug fixes, and bonus Creation Club content. But today, I'd like to get a little bit more specific. Here are my top 10 features and bug fixes that I believe Bethesda Game Studios must include in the Fallout 4 Next Gen update. Feel free to include your wishes in the comments below as well. But before we get into it, I would like to talk about the sponsor for today's video, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with literally thousands of classes on a vast range of topics. Skillshare is well known for classes in content creation, but it also has hundreds of career-focused classes too. And with a new year, when else is a better time to reinvent your goals? Whether it's exploring your career options, wanting more financial stability, or learning how to be your own boss, Skillshare can help you. Personally, I am a huge fan of the Productivity for Creators classes. Having a full-time job myself, the videos have provided me with some great tips to help me find time in my life to maintain my YouTube side hustle and being as motivated as possible. This is something that I genuinely struggle with, so listening to other creators in a similar position as me and learning from their own experiences has been invaluable. And thanks to Skillshare, you can benefit from these great classes too. The first 1,000 people to use the link in the video description and pinned comment will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. So please check it out, join, and get to learning. Now, back to the video. SSDs are a must-have for gaming in 2023. If you have ever upgraded from a regular old hard drive to an NVMe or even SATA SSD, you absolutely would have noticed a significant increase in load times across most, if not all, of your games. However, one game is unfortunately the exception here, Fallout 4. Due to an issue with how the game's engine is tied to FPS, many players on PC may experience incredibly long load times, especially when you are entering buildings or new areas, even if you have an SSD. In order to fix this today, you actually have to disable VSync completely in your game, because this uncaps the frame rate and you'll find that load screens suddenly become much faster and be better reflective of your speedy SSD. However, turning off VSync can cause its own issues, including physics speed issues, which we'll talk about later, and of course, screen tearing. The alternative here is on PC, you can download a mod called the Fallout 4 Load Accelerator, which only disables VSync during load screens in order to fasten up loading times while leaving it active for the rest of the game. This is actually a brilliant mod and one that I always use, but this mod unfortunately may have some compatibility issues with some of your other favorite mods out there. So the fix has to be resolved at an engine level and issued by Bethesda. And what better time to do this than for the next gen update? This is an absolute must fix for the game. I'd say the majority of players use an SSD nowadays, and we shouldn't have to put up with incredibly long load times, especially in a next gen version of the game. Speaking of broken physics, it is a good time now to mention the next issue that must be fixed in Fallout 4 Next Gen, the ability to play at high frame rates. Now, to be clear, this is an issue which Bethesda has already said it will fix in the Next Gen update, but it's still important to mention in a list like this, especially for those of you who are unaware of what the issue actually is. Today, if you tried to play Fallout 4 above 60 frames per second, while it will technically work, you will have the unfortunate side effect of the game running too fast. Whether it's your character's walking speed, navigating the Pip-Boy map, or many other aspects of the game, your game will essentially be sped up. This is even an issue that Bethesda themselves has acknowledged in a Bethesda.net help article, stating that it's caused by your video card outputting in excess of 60 frames per second. Again, this is another one of those issues being caused by the game engine physics being tied to frame rate, which, if you remember, was once an issue in Fallout 76, which was quietly patched out. Unfortunately, this has not yet occurred with Fallout 4, but it looks like it's going to be fixed in the next gen update. We just need to hope that it's properly implemented and result in zero physics speed issues across other areas of the game. The next issue in this video may not be one that all players out there have or even have noticed, but there are many threads about it online, and unfortunately, I'm one of those players. When walking, moving, or strafing in Fallout 4, you may suffer from a dreaded micro stutter where every few steps your game stutters for no reason. This issue is very similar to one that existed in Fallout 3 and New Vegas, which fortunately have their own mods to fix it. However, this issue in Fallout 4 is one which many players, including myself, have just not been able to fix or mod away. Some people have reported successes by disabling controller input, disabling G-Sync, playing on borderless window mode, setting FPS clamp to 60, enabling VSync, and more, but these fixes have never been 100% foolproof across the board. In all honesty, this is one issue which I eventually got used to, but again, since a next-gen update is on the cards, I really do hope that Bethesda realize it's an issue in the first place and are able to patch it out. Next up is an issue which has persisted since day one, Fallout 4's settings menu. If you are running the regular executable of the game, this menu is the one that pops up every time you double click the exe, allowing you to change many of the game's graphical settings before booting it up properly. However, for several of the options present, this menu has simply always been bugged. The most notorious subject here are God rays. It is actually not possible to disable God rays in this menu, because whenever you open it, for whatever reason, God rays always default to being on at one of the lowest settings. And for reasons we'll chat about in a second, God rays have their own issues in Fallout 4, so many players like myself simply want to turn them off and can't do so using the game's settings menu. One of my top viewed videos on YouTube to this day is actually a way to disable God rays without needing to use this in-game settings menu by changing any files. Additionally, even if you have a 4K monitor and can play the game in 4K full screen mode, the settings menu may not actually allow you to set the game to 4K if you want to play with borderless windowed mode. This is something which is indeed possible, as you can again change any settings to achieve this result, but you won't be able to do this using the settings menu because it is bugged. Honestly, I actually wish that Bethesda simply did away with this entire menu in the first place and allow us to change all settings in-game, ideally without needing to reboot for most of the graphical changes. But if they cannot do this because of the creation engine, then the next gen update actually needs to fix this settings menu. When we change things, the settings should just stick. We shouldn't need to hunt around in any files to change things. That is the whole point and job of the settings menu. Alright, let's talk about one of the biggest elephants in the room when it comes to Fallout 4's next gen update. Every time Bethesda updates one of their games, this involves a new executable being created for the game. This, unfortunately, will almost always break the script extender, leaving the game unlaunchable using the script extender. Script extenders essentially allow mod authors to do much more when it comes to creating mods for Bethesda games. And if you want to install the best and most essential mods out there, using a script extender is almost a necessity. So, when these script extenders break, players essentially have to wait around until the authors behind the relevant script extender issue a new extender which works with the latest version of the game. While this usually happens pretty quickly for games that are still very actively modded, like Skyrim, problems do occur particularly for older Bethesda games where a lot of modders have simply moved on or retired, and that can happen with the teams behind the script extenders. Fallout 3's script extender has actually been broken since October of 2021 for this exact reason. Bethesda released an update to remove Windows Live from the game, and because the Fozy mod authors have moved on, it is never seen a fix, so you must use a downgrader in order to run Fozy with Fallout 3's Steam version. Thankfully, Fallout 4's script extender team still seems to be active, with the latest script extender being released only last year. But in my opinion, it is incumbent on Bethesda to work with this team prior to Fallout 4 Next Gen releasing in order to ensure that they can release a new version of F4SC almost immediately. If this doesn't occur, it may take weeks or even longer for F4SE to be updated. Now, to be clear, word on the street is that Bethesda Game Studios actually did this for Skyrim Anniversary Edition, which was why SKSE was updated so quickly when the Anniversary Edition dropped. So let's just hope this happens again for F4SE. Okay, this next issue I'll mention is a relatively small one, and many people, particularly console players playing on larger TVs, may not actually think it's a real issue. But I truly do hope that Fallout 4 Next Gen allows us to change the size of guns on the screen. Especially on PC monitors, the gun models can be absolutely enormous and cover up what seems to be half of the screen. This actually makes me not want to use certain guns, because one of the best bits of Fallout 4 is just exploring and enjoying the view. This is very hard when your favorite gun of choice is taking up a big chunk of the screen. Now, I'm not necessarily asking for all gun model sizes to be reduced across the board, because some of them aren't that bad, and there may be players out there who actually think the chunky size of certain guns are realistic and endearing. But I think we can agree that what we'd all appreciate is simply the option to reduce gun sizes. It just needs to be a simple little slider in the game menu, small but something I believe would be a huge quality of life change. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, Bethesda has already promised quality features as part of Fallout 4's next gen update. This, you would assume, should include some sort of high resolution texture pack for the game, but I'm going to mention it here just in case. Now, some of you might be saying, on PC, there already is a high resolution pack for Fallout 4. Would this not just be bundled in with the next gen update? Technically, yes, but here's the problem with that high resolution texture pack. It isn't really that good. Reviews for this pack are actually mixed to negative on Steam for this exact reason, particularly because the update is so large, 58GB in total, and doesn't provide any perceptible difference in quality at all. Many have reported this texture pack also causing crashing issues in game as well. So, the community has generally agreed it's not worthwhile actually installing this pack for Fallout 4 today. This is why I hope that for Fallout 4 Next Gen, if they do further improve their high resolution textures, that they actually provide a noticeable improvement to the in-game textures. A large file size isn't so bad so long as it's being put to good use. Better yet, provide us the option to download a higher resolution texture pack if we have the storage space to support it. Creation Club, everybody's favorite Fallout 4 feature, or maybe not. Look, I am fully aware of the negativity that surrounds Creation Club every time it's mentioned in the community, but to this day, I still believe that the goal of Creation Club was valid, to provide mod authors with a way to earn money and potentially make a living from modding. As a YouTuber who earns money from making videos, I'd be such a hypocrite if I didn't support this idea. But more to the point, I truly do believe that mod authors deserve it. The implementation just needs to be executed much better and a little bit more equitably. Regardless, we're getting a bit off topic. Creation Club is still around in Fallout 4, and it looks like we're getting bonus Creation Club content as part of this next gen update. If you remember, when Skyrim received its paid for Anniversary Edition, a bunch of Creation Club content was bundled in, but if you didn't want to pay for this edition, even users of Skyrim Special Edition still received 4 pieces of Creation Club content for free. Now, since Fallout 4 Next Gen is going to be a free upgrade, I do hope that Bethesda also provides a few of the creations for free, like they did with Skyrim Special Edition. I'm not expecting everything to be free, but some would be nice. But more importantly for me, I really hope that some of the new creations for Fallout 4 Next Gen are actually quest mods. These to me are some of the best parts of the modding scene, and when modders are actually being supported financially by Bethesda to create these mods, the potential for receiving some amazing mods is even greater. Getting new skins, weapons, or other items are nice, but if the next gen update can include 1 or 2 new quest mods, especially ones that are voiced, then I'll be a happy man. Okay, here's a feature that actually won't benefit me personally, but I've seen enough people yell about it online that it's finally time for Bethesda to introduce it to Fallout 4, ultra-wide support. If this next-gen update is to properly live up to its name, Fallout 4 should have ultra-wide support. While many of us may not care, ultra-wide monitors are slowly picking up market share in the games community and new versions are constantly released. So it would be nice if Bethesda provided ultra-wide compatibility in Fallout 4 Next Gen. Enough said. And finally, let's include a catch-all section for all major bugs that Fallout 4 currently has. Now to be clear, I do not expect this update to fix every single bug in the game. You know that's impossible and it won't be done. However, at the very least, I am hoping that some, if not all, of the major bugs are addressed. I'm sure you can list some of your own examples in the comments, but some that I have written down include downtown Boston crashes. These crashing issues are literally mentioned on every single Fallout 4 bug thread and should not be ignored. The 0 kilobyte bug where you suddenly cannot save your game via any of your save files, effectively forcing you to start fresh. Audio crackling issues in the game, especially when indoors and walking from room to room. The weapon debris bug, which causes newer Nvidia graphics cards to simply crash if this option is enabled in the settings menu. And the God Rays bug, which causes horrible aliasing issues around your character and other objects if you have it enabled at every setting aside from the highest. And of course, there are much more. As I said, I do love Fallout 4 so much. However, bugs like the ones that I just mentioned, and I'm sure you'll have many others in the comments below, should be fixed by BGS in the next gen update. And that is all from me, Wade Sanders. Again, please let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and until next time, this has been Lone. Please take care of yourselves, and would you kindly keep fighting the good fight.